Hi guys. For today we're going to talk about radio script writing basics. But before we talk about or we learn how to write scripts, first let's define what a script is. A script is a written material that contains dialogue as well as directions for music, voicing, sound effects that must go into the program. Now, we have several elements that are included in a radio script. First, we have dialogues, music, sound effects, and instructions for the performers and production crew. First, let's learn the uses of a script. Number one, a script ensures smooth program continuity. A program host will be properly guided and will never be at loss for words. It will help the program host how to switch to another topic or discussion, and it will prevent the program host for saying irrelevant things. So the script will serve as a guide for the host because it's very difficult to invent or to fabricate conversations on radio if you don't have a script. Second, it ensures accuracy of information. A script helps eliminate unverified information, and it also ensures accuracy of facts such as names, persons, titles, figures, and etc. Next, it helps in organizing information. The script allows announcers to arrange information in logical order. So again, a script is a guide for the announcers to be organized and to have a proper plan in conducting a radio program. Lastly, it aids in program timing. It keeps the program host within the program's time limit, and the program host can focus on more important information without going over time. So because of course, in radio and in TV also, airwaves are their products. Now, every second and every minute of airtime is equivalent to how much money a radio organization or a radio business will have. So it is very important for a radio program to start on time and to finish on time. Okay. Now, things to remember when writing for radio. Always remember that you have to write for the ear. Radio is a sound medium. It is intended to be heard. The audience will not read the script and the audience will not watch radio. So, the writer must always keep in mind that he or she must write for the ear. Next, be brief. Writing for radio is time constrained. Again, always remember that you have a specific time or a specific time slot. And again, it is more profitable to start on time and to end on time. So you always have to have time considerations when you are writing for radio. Next, be specific. Vague or generalized action may confuse your audience and make them switch stations. So your presentation must be simple and clear. Lastly, personalize. Based on the demos and the psychos or demographics or psychographics, write for the target audience. Using different forms of audience analysis, develop the appropriate content and style. Always remember that radio is what we call narrowcasted. Radio stations tailor their radio programs for specific audience. I now have a glossary for radio terms used in script writing. Now you can use these terms in guiding the announcer of what specific instructions that you want to write on the script. I will not read and define everything, but I will make this particular glossary available to you in writing. So, but there are certain terms here that you need to know or that we often use in radio script writing. One of which is biz or business. This is a script notation calling for vocal or physical effects to be done by the cast, like crowd noises, shouting. It can also be used to highlight or include or introduce opening billboard, segment IDs, closing billboards, or any highlight or framing mechanism of a radio program. Of course, crossfade, cut, fade in, establish, cue, off mic, on mic, mic fade, filter. These are the terms that are used in order for you to vary the sounds that you have on radio. So please review them before writing your script. Others that you can also use like sig, sneak, transition, under or up. These are sound manipulation techniques to guide the tech person in producing and arranging a radio program. So now that we have talked about the key concept and terms of radio, we are now going to proceed with the radio script format. So you have to keep in mind these particulars. Use long bond paper, write in double spaced, write in just two fonts, either in Times New Roman or Arial, and font size is 12. You have to note that the template and details of a radio script may vary from station to station. This means that, well, of course, there are some conventions that we follow, but there are certain liberties that writers do in writing their script and in following format. But for uniformity's sake, we are going to use the format that is included in this lecture. So for the first page, at the upper left hand, put the following. So the name of the radio station, the frequency, and the call sign. That is called the station box. The title of the program, the date and the time of broadcast. That is called the program details. Write the persons involved in their respective roles in the production. And after all these information, you can now start with the body of your script. So this is the sample of the heading of the first page of your radio script. So you have the station box, you have the program details, and you have the personnel. Again, I must note that this particular format varies from one radio station to another. There may be some information that is added, or there may be some information that are removed in this format. Next, for the succeeding pages, repeat the title of the program or production on the upper right-hand corner of each page. Place the page number just after the title, but separate it with several dots or periods. This is the sample of that. Now again, there may be variations. In some radio stations, they put it in the upper left hand. But for our format, we're going to use the upper right hand corner to put the page number of the succeeding pages. For typing instructions, write the names of the speakers, hosts, talents, characters on the left margin, and begin the dialogue farther to the right of the same line. Put in line numbers each line and capitalize and underline all instructions, sound effects, music, and sounds, and music techniques. Lastly, capitalize biz entries. So these are next. Put in caps instructions on how dialogue or line must be read, then enclose it in a parenthesis. So it's like the parenthetical of the narrative script. And lastly, staple script at the bottom left or unstaple the pages during production, because we don't want to hear flipping pages during the recording sessions or during the live broadcast of a radio program. So these are those samples. As you can see, you really have similarities, or you have similar format for live radio broadcast scripts like this one for FM and radio drama script like this one. Underline the biz and the program IDs. Also, you may put in the duration of, let's say, the program ID, the segment ID, so that you can have the proper timing. Also, again, underline music instructions. So put in transitions. The name of the character that will be speaking should be on the left-hand corner, and parentheticals should be included. Also, this is very important. You have to put line numbers per line. So it's not going to be just for the delivery of the DJs, but also even with the instructions, even with the continuation of dialogue. Now, again with the variation, some scripts have the line continuously. Let's say, for example, page 1 will have line 1 all the way to line, let's say, 22 or line 20. And then for the next page, page 2 will be line 21 all the way to line 40. Okay. There are some scripts that does it not continuously. Meaning, for page 1, you have lines 1 to 20. For page 2, you have another set of lines 1 to 20. So, for our format, you can actually use either the continuous line numbering or the non-continuous line numbering. So it depends on your preference. Another tip, if you're going to write a broadcast script for an FM radio program that plays music, so when you put in the music or the song, make sure that you put in the duration of the song. So that, again, this is very important for the timing of the radio program. You're not going to put the whole lyrics of the song in your script. You're just going to put the song title and the song duration. And lastly, end the script by putting the word end centered after the last line. So in this case, it's here. That ends my short lecture on script writing basics and format. I leave you again with the quotation of Haley Flanagan saying that the power of radio is not that it speaks to millions, but it speaks intimately and privately to each one of those millions. So you have to take the audience in consideration always. Now, I'm going to entertain questions during our live sessions, or if you want, you can send in the questions via chat or via course message. So remember to always check your BBL for updates and announcements. This ends my short lecture. Please be posted for my next video. Thank you very much for listening.